So I'll hand over to Tyson now, who I realized we just had a clicker. I was going old school. Who's going to kick it off and tell us a little bit about Instapage? We should switch laptops.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah. Yeah. So and I should tell people they are being recorded. But so as soon as the broadcast ended, it'll just come out. So yeah, there will be. I've actually rewatched the webinar myself to get his ideas. Okay, cool. So
Let's make sure. Things during live presentation. We'll get this live and get caught up here. Cool, awesome. Well, I'm going to pretend like I've done this before. This is actually my first speaking workshop, so and you guys can pretend that you're not just here to skip work. So, but no, feel free to seriously get some drinks. Don't feel bad about that at 2 p.m. I'm going to take this off. Cool. I also considered wearing like a turtleneck so I can get the Steve Jobs kind of, attire going, but I didn't. Sorry about that. So first of all, my name is Tyson. I am the CEO and founder of Instapage. I founded Instapage about 3 years ago when I had a previous startup that wasn't working out, and one of the main problems with it was we weren't able to efficiently acquire customers online because we were spending a big part of our advertising budget on sending people to our website and just hoping that we were going to convert them, and then realizing that we were only converting about 3% of the people that came to our website at the time. And then the company wasn't working out, so we said, hey, why don't we solve this problem and make it really easy for marketers to build these landing pages and get them online just as easily as they can get an ad online. I think that Facebook, Twitter, a lot of the big advertising, of course Google, has done a really good job making it easy to target people and make it possible to reach people when they have buying intent like Google, but no one was really solving the post-click experience well. And that was a little bit weird to me because that's the place that the conversion happens. So that really is where most of your effort should go into, but it was such a complex problem. You had to build your page, and you had to set up integrations, you had to code the page, you had to go bother your engineering team if you have one, and then get it online, and then figure out how to test it. So we set out to solve that problem, and since we basically bootstrapped the company and are starting to grow really quickly because we're making it possible for marketers to optimize the post-click experience. So that's a little bit of background on why we built the company. And real quick, where we think it's headed is in the next few years, almost every single ad online should be pointing to a dedicated landing page. We as consumers want more relevant advertising, personalization, and now tools like Instapage and other tools like Optimizely and other conversion rate optimization tools, and even Autopilot with relevant lead nurturing are making that possible. So let's dive in. So the first part of our journey is the awareness stage, right? And one thing I do want to mention about this entire workshop is part of the problem with marketing today is we're just overloaded with things to do. We have content marketing, social media marketing, paid marketing, conversion rate optimization, lead generation, just endless amount of overwhelming things. And so when we came up with this idea for the webinar, we thought, this needs to be a lot clearer of a journey, right? And so you have the awareness stage. So how do we create low-cost awareness? Okay, the best way to do that, I have some slides here. The first comment I want to say is nobody really cares about you yet. So it's not, you don't want to just start putting your ad out there and just thinking that people suddenly care about what you're trying to sell them or what you're trying to get them to do, right? This is where content marketing comes in, right? You're creating a bunch of content. It's also great for SEO and long tail stuff. but it's also really, really good content to boost to relevant audiences because it's informational, it's educational, and it's not an advertisement, right? So let me flip my little note card here. So what you want to do is get some great content online, get some blog posts up, some ebooks, or whatever type of content you think will work well for your audiences, and then start measuring what type of content is doing well. What blog posts are getting really good organic traffic, what posts are organically being shared on your social media channels, and what posts are getting high engagement, all right? And I'm guessing you guys are here as marketers, you probably at least know how to use Google Analytics. If not, then maybe start there. Cool, so now that we have that content, we're still on slide 10 here, so we want to basically build out and boost this content to relevant audiences, right? So there's a number of ways we could do this, but the easiest is by going to a network like Facebook or LinkedIn, if that's more of your relevant audiences living on that platform, or Twitter, and we want to boost this to them. We want to think about our demographics, what age is our ideal customer, what they're interested in, and where they're located, okay? So I am going to do a demo, but I want to kind of go through why this works and some of the stuff at the beginning, and then we'll go into a demo, and then at the end of this section, you guys can ask me questions. So how does it work? And a lot of you probably are already aware of how this process works, but we just want to talk about it for those of you who don't. Basically, a visitor comes to your content, okay, and we track them with a pixel. So both Facebook, Google, Twitter, all of the major platforms allow you to get a pixel, and I'll show you guys that in the demo, and place it on your content. So when they do come to your content, you can at least identify them and then start retargeting them. So then you start distributing your retargeting ads, and let's see here. It's actually, they did a research, I forget who did this research, but it's actually, retargeting is the second most efficient type of online advertising after email. So email, of course, is great because you can capture their email and continually market to them with no additional cost other than maybe your monthly email service provider cost. But retargeting, and you have to ask yourself why. It's because no one cares about you until they've heard about you and you've given them something of value. And once you've done that, then is the appropriate time to start targeting them with interest-based stuff. Like, okay, now you know who Instapage is. Now come back and sign up. And also, this is the statistic right here. Annie from Autopilot put this statistic up. Retargeting consumers are actually 70% more likely to make a purchase compared to non-retargeted consumers. And I think that's obvious. Just like I said, now they know who you are, and there's some trust built. That's a big thing. Trust is a big thing in today's advertising and marketing world where we're hyper-connected. People can go to your Facebook and complain. They can research an unprecedented amount of information about your company. So if they don't trust you, then they don't want to buy anything from you. So establish that trust. Okay, so let's go to some examples real quick. A lot of you probably know Asana, and we use Asana at Instapage. Love the new update, by the way. Loving it. Anyways, Asana here is doing a really good job, and this is actually display network retargeting, so through Google or things like AdRoll to place ads on other websites outside of the main social websites. And what you want to do here is if you're running banner ads or display advertising, focus on benefits. You see Asana here says teamwork without email, right? We all want to kill email off, so that's obvious. And then really they stick to that destroying email theme. And then they have a strong call to action, right? Get started for free, okay? There's one other thing I want to mention here is, and we've tested this a lot at Instapage, is, and it's kind of like a hack, so it goes with today's theme of hacking the journey. If you think that banner ads have a really low conversion rate, because who's clicking on these anyways, right? Maybe we click on one or two a year or something, but it's a good time to build brand awareness. So we've actually built ads where our logo is really big, and we just have like a benefit that says like every promotion needs a page, and we don't have any call to action on it, and we don't actually want people to click on these banners.
because it's free for us to start distributing these banner ads unless someone clicks on it, but we're establishing more brand impressions. So they've been to Instapage, and now we're running these banner ads, and we're getting Instapage in front of them with these benefits. And so when they do have buying intent, then Instapage is going to be top of mind. All right, so experiment with those two different types. You can do the call to action, that's great, but if you're having a really low, no yawning up here. It's not that weird, right? That's one thing I want to say too. I think marketing, is becoming a lot more fun. Maybe we're biased because we're building marketing companies, but I think that's important thing too. Is marketing should be fun, and I think with clarity it can be. So let's jump into. There's a few other things I want to mention. Of course, you can run retargeting, and it's what we're going to show today through Facebook and every major platform where people spend their time. All right, let's see here. Few tips, really quick, and then we're going to jump into the demo. Think about setting a frequency cap on your banners, regardless of where you're running them. People don't want to just be bombarded constantly with banners. You want to kind of have a subtle approach where you're getting it in front of them enough times that they have that brand impression, but you don't want to just annoy the hell out of them and make them feel like you're just stalking them every single place on the internet, and you just don't want to do that. Rotate the offers to keep the conversions higher, the click-through rates, especially on Facebook and stuff. You can actually see on Facebook will start showing you the cost per click and the cost per conversion over time. And you can follow it. It's almost always consistently. The more times your ad is shown to a single person, the more expensive it becomes, and the less likely they're to click on it because they're seeing it over and over again, and now it's becoming annoying. So know what times, let's see, I guess we can look up here. Know what days and times have the highest conversion rates. Again, all of the advertising platforms give you statistics and data on when during the day or week that your ads are performing best. We have started to just target our ads, even our boosted posts, just during the weekdays because we're a B2B platform and we're just going to be wasting money on the weekends. We might as well allocate most of our budget to during kind of work hours. And then also align your cookie duration. So the cookie is, again, the conversion tracking pixel. Align that with the buying cycle. Maybe you have one for interest or awareness stage. That's like your content. And then you have one audience for the interest stage. So maybe we would put a pixel like on our landing pages. And then maybe one for if they're inside your app or they're inside your e-commerce funnel. So you can actually send them advertising that's relevant to them at that time. Cool. I don't know what I just did there, but I think this is demo time. So I'm going to mount this. You guys should have seen Mike last night setting up this audio. Somehow he's right. If this doesn't work out, you could be an audio engineer. Cool. I'm going to show you two examples on Facebook and Google AdWords. So let's see here. Cool. The first one, let's get this over here, is during the awareness stage. So I'm going to show you awareness and then I'm going to show you the interest. So we're still establishing awareness. So our really awesome content team, I don't think many of our content people are here today. They're actually working. Looks like Mike has his team working over here too. So you can see we built this really relevant article to marketers because we found the trends and posts about psychology or the psychological hacks work really well with our audiences. So we've built this post here. We've added a tracking pixel from both Facebook and Google on this post. And then what we've done is we've gone over here and we've posted it on Facebook. And once we noticed that it was performing well, we ran a boost. And I want to show you guys this. And it's a really low-cost method of doing this. Because it's not an ad, the click-through rate is very, very high, much higher than you would get on your ad, okay? And this is why you want to do it at stage one. You see, for $150 just on this ad, we had 548 link clicks, 39 website conversions, so people signing up, 55 Facebook page likes, 119 post likes, 6 comments, and 22 shares with a total action count of almost 800, which is about 5 times the amount of actions compared to the amount of money we spent. Okay, this reached 20,000 people, not counting the amount of people that reshared it once they hit our page here. So we probably reached people across LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, if anyone still uses that. But you can see, so this only cost us $150, and now we're building a highly relevant, targeted audience that is ready for us to start sending our actual interest-based ads to. So real quick, before I go further, I want to show you guys, for those of you who don't know how to set up that tracking pixel, and can we get that clock up here? Mike, I don't know what happened to that, so I know what our time is. It's really easy to do that. You just come up here to your ad manager, and I'll show you a little bit of behind the stages, behind the scenes look at ours. So I'll just go to manage ads here. And we're not going to go over all the nitty gritties. I'm sure a lot of you have already done this, but for those of you who don't, this is just a really easy thing to do. Okay, so we're just going to hit tools here. This is a workshop too, so be thinking of the questions that you have, because you're going to get a second to ask questions here. And then custom conversions, right? So this is where you would come, and then you would create your custom conversion, and then it's going to give you that tracking pixel, and then you're just going to copy and paste that on your website, or if you're not the technical person, then send that to the webmaster or whoever is doing that. Thanks for that clock. Get it on your website. Do not start boosting and promoting your content until that pixel is there. Okay, so we've already done that. And then you have audiences. So here we go, audiences. And there's a number of ways to do this. So I'm actually going to, let's actually boost a post together. Okay? So if I wanted to, this is my personal home feed. There's a competitor's ad. They're retargeting me. If we wanted to boost one of these posts, let's find one that we haven't boosted, right? So we could hit boost here, but what we actually like to do, because this is kind of like a trick by Facebook, they want you to boost it from here because it has worse targeting options and they're going to get more of your money for less. So we actually like to go here and go to create an ad. And this is going to let you have more granular controls like time-based targeting, age-based targeting, etc. So we're just going to hit boost. And we're just boosting a post here, so let's go ahead and select that. That's actually not a great post to boost, but we can turn it off. So, and then try to, because you want to scale this out over time, so try to like label your ads in a way that you're going to know what you're doing. So this is an awareness stage. So I might just hit something like awareness. Right? We're just building awareness, and I'll say post on our new knowledge base or whatever. And then here we can start building out our audience. So I can say, okay, I only want to target the United States. I can even target other audiences. Maybe I want to retarget people that came to our website 60 days ago, and we want to kind of give them some new useful content. Of course, I can do gender, I can do language, and then interest is the best thing here. I can do marketing. Okay? And then I can choose a date and time, find that hidden option here, add schedule, and run ads on a schedule. And this is where you're going to be able to actually have to do clicks here. Let's see. Oh, lifetime budgets, okay. 1 second. So say we have a lifetime budget here. Now I can create a little schedule. They don't want you to do that, right? Because they want to give that to you, but they want you to spend as much money as possible and have less efficiency because that's where a lot of their money comes from. But a lot of you probably work at startups and you want as much efficiency as possible. So think about the times of day where that's going to work the best. So I'm not going to go into any more details on this. That's how you do it. Boost your post, send it to relevant audiences, and after you start building some initial lists, you can do things like let's see, 1 second. Pat, what am I looking for?
What's up, retargeting?
Not retargeting, but building the list of relevant
Audiences?
audiences. Yes.
Audiences? Custom audiences? Whatever.
No. When you're building it like a similar audience, lookalike audience, right? Again, this is my first workshop, so cool. We can do that and stuff and take it as far as you want. Let's refer back to my slides here. Okay, so now that we've done the awareness stage, we talked a little bit about boosting our content that's performing well, targeting audiences. We've shown you some examples. Now is the time to start sending them your actual ads because we are businesses after all. We don't want to we're not educational businesses, most of us. If you are, then, great. You have a different business model, but so we've already educated them. Now we want to make some money on them. We want them to fill out a form. So now is the time to start doing that. So let's go ahead and do that. I do want to show you guys one example of one that we're running on Facebook. How are we doing on time here? Great, 5 more minutes, cool. So I'll do this really quick. We're not going to build one. I'm just going to show you one that we're running. So now we have, let's find it right here. So we have an interest stage, as you can see. Now we're going to start showing them an ad only to people that have come to our content and then we've created an audience from our conversion tracking pixels. So our an audience pixels. So here it is. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's see if we can preview one of these. There we go. So now is the time to start sending something like this. So now we say, okay, they know who we are. And we have an ad that says the easiest to use landing page platform with a call to action. And these ads work really, really well, and we still don't pay a lot of money for them because they've already seen Instapage, they've already read our content, and now is the time where they trust us and we can start getting them to our landing pages. So I think we've already done about 30 minutes, right? So should we do, okay. So I'm not gonna show you guys the second part, which is actually doing search remarketing on Google. I'll just briefly cover it because a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people are running ads on Google and they're just doing it based on keyword searches and that's all they're doing. But you can actually set up search remarketing. So you can say, okay, if someone is searching for landing pages on Google and they've been to our website, we want to rank #1 and we're willing to pay more money for them because they've already had a touch point with us and they're more likely to convert, obviously, because they know who we are, and now we want to reach them. So what I've done is I've created a Dog Today ad, a fake one. Okay, so I'm going to go into the ad group, and what we're going to want to do is go to Audiences here, and we set up the remarketing pixels the same way that we did with Facebook, and we put them on our content. And then we go to Ad Targeting, and we go to Interest and Remarketing, and we'll go to our remarketing lists. And now I can say, okay, let's start sending this to all website visitors. Okay, but we don't want to send this to people who have already converted, right? This is really cool stuff because this is actually boosting a post in the search results. So I'll go to remarketing lists again. And it looks like our paid marketing manager, Pat, has spent a lot of time really building this out since I was managing it. So we'll just do signups. So now only people that go to Google and search landing pages or whatever keywords, or in this case, Dog Today, and have been there but haven't signed up are going to start seeing our ad. And let's finish this off. Great, and this is where the magic happens. So I'm going to say bid adjustment, okay? I'm going to actually bid about 40% more for these people because, again, they've already been to our site. We already have that trust. They're looking for the solution now. Pay more to get the #1 spot and close the deal. So that a lot of people don't know about that. I don't know what the deal is, but Google's kind of hiding that. So that's another great way to get your ads in front of them as the #1 spot when they've already had a touch point. So I know that was a lot of stuff to cover, so I'm sure you guys have questions, and I want to open it up for questions now. Anybody? Don't be shy. Okay.
If you're trying to traffic to Facebook, why would you keep retargeting the audience? Just use Apple, use that pixel. They go to Facebook through the address of all the friends. Why would you just concentrate, just keep retargeting and that stuff on?
So I think the question is so we have two types of ads. We have the awareness building and then we have retargeting.
Yeah.
So the reason why is you want to reach people wherever they're at. So we boosted the post for the educational content, right? And that one's more just an audience that's not a remarketing list yet. That's just I'm targeting people that are interested in marketing, who are in San Francisco or our areas, and then we've created the pixel. And so now we want to start sending them interest-based ads on Facebook with different type of content with that call to action that goes to our landing page. And
That's I understand.
Okay.
What I'm asking is, so if you're doing an awareness piece across multiple platforms, right? You wouldn't want to do targeting within each platform, right? Like that just takes forever, why wouldn't you just use Google and AdWords Pixel popping onto the landing page that you've already done awareness on, and those just hit Facebook, they'll hit all display ads. Why would you stay in Facebook?
You wouldn't just stay in Facebook. I was just doing that as a demonstration. I mean, you should not use Facebook for retargeting. I mean, you can choose as many networks as you want for retargeting, but Facebook's the best for building the awareness. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, because people are consuming content, informational stuff. But also, why would you limit yourself just to AdWord and AdWords and AdRoll and stuff? You want to also retarget them. You can, yeah. I mean, you can do that if you want. If you're using AdRoll and it plugs into Facebook, I think Pat's the only one that's done AdRoll for our company. So yeah, you can do that if you want to consolidate and streamline your workflow. Then use AdRoll and distribute it to Facebook. I personally, I mean, I haven't used AdRoll a lot. I personally like the power tools that Facebook provides, so I can get super granulated and I know it well. So just do whatever you know best, and then you can experiment with other platforms. Cool. Great question.
Have you tried the lead ads for Facebook?
Oh, lead ads?
Yeah, and if you have done that, can you do like the A/B testing between a landing page and lead ad?
Oh, that's also a great question. Again, our content team actually wrote a post about landing pages versus lead ads, and it's not something that I personally done. I actually was doing all of our marketing for a long time, but now our company's growing and I'm getting so busy, so we hire dedicated people to do that. So no, I have not personally had the opportunity to test that. But again, marketing is all about testing. You never know it's going to work until you've tried it. I recommend trying both. Sometimes you're probably going to get better results from Facebook lead ads or Twitter lead ads, and sometimes you're going to get better results from a dedicated landing page.
So how do I know if a post is doing well and if before boosting it on Facebook?
Right.
And because like the audience that's looking at it before boosting might not be the audience that I want to reach when I boost it.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said at the beginning, there's a few ways to measure the success of content that you've created. So we use a combination of Google Analytics to see how long people are staying on the posts. We look at how many people are resharing this, how many people are commenting on it, and then we actually have one other tool that we're using that actually tracks, it's like a heat mapping tool that tracks scroll depth, so we can actually see how many people have finished that article. And then based on that, we say, okay, this is a good piece of content. We already know our demographics pretty well. That's something that you'll have to do some research on your own to know who your ideal customer is. We use a myriad of tools like Mixpanel, for example, to see what geographic locations are leading to the most revenues, things like that, and then we'll like hyper-target it into those. But you're going to start off kind of a little bit broader when you're starting your company out, and kind of monitor that over time using various analytics tools, including the advertising platform's own tools that will show you demographic stuff. So, did that answer your question? Cool.
What's the average lifetime value of a blog post?
The average lifetime value of a blog post, that's not really, I can't really put a number on that because it's different for every single type of company and what their conversion process looks like. For us, like we have a free trial, and so we look at how many free trials it generated. For a lot of people, enterprise companies or a little bit larger companies, they have like a call to action at the bottom that has like some content, like a white paper or an ebook, because they also want to capture a lead. And then they have a lead process that goes to the sales team and stuff. So that's totally, there's everything from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars. It's unique to every business.
I was talking more in terms of like how much are you producing in order to have good return on every single one of them?
Like how much we invest in our content?
Yeah, like is a post a month enough to be able to boost it and have steady traffic on your website, or do you need more?
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. We've kind of scaled it out over time as we started with just like one post a week. And that's something you should do. At least start with one really good piece of content per week. It's not just about quantity. You want quality because the content's useless if they come there and they're like, hey, this is some garbage information that you just regurgitated from someone else and whatever. So spend the time writing good content first, and as your business grows and you have the ability to invest more in the content, then scale it out. But you can get away, unless you're targeting a huge amount of people and they're seeing the same thing over and over again, you can get away with the same post for a good amount of time, but just monitor that and see, if the cost is going up on Facebook and it's becoming less effective. Anyone else on that remarketing, awareness building, interest-based stuff? Cool. Well, that's the first two parts, I guess, of the journey. So we did awareness. We got people to our site, really low cost. We gave them some educational material. They like us now. And then we started getting them to take action. So we built the interest-based ads on Google and the interest-based ad on Facebook. Those ads should go to a landing page, all right? So that's what I'm going to talk about next, and this is my favorite topic, of course, because we created a landing page company.